Walk into TJ Maxx and before you touch a single rack, something happens. You feel like a deal is waiting for you. Like if you look long enough, you'll find something you're not supposed to get at that price. The red tags, the designer names, the packed aisles, all of it creates the same thought in your head. I should grab this before someone else does. But what if that feeling isn't luck at all? What if it's intentional? Because TJ Maxx isn't just a discount store, it's a system built on urgency, confusion, and impulse. Not every designer label is what it seems. Not every markdown is real. And not every deal is actually saving you money. Once you understand how the store really works, the entire experience changes. So before we break it down section by section, here's what you need to know. The shoppers who walk out with the best deals aren't lucky. They're informed. Walk through TJ Maxx and pay attention to what your eyes lock onto first. It's not the fabric or the stitching or how something feels in your hands. It's the name on the tag. Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, Michael Kors. The moment you see a familiar brand, your brain jumps to a conclusion without asking permission. This must be good. This must be expensive somewhere else. This must be a deal. That instinct is exactly what TJ Maxx is designed to trigger. Because the truth is, a large percentage of the designer-labeled clothing in TJ Maxx was never sold in a designer store at all. These aren't overstock items or leftovers from Nordstrom racks. Many of them are made specifically for discount retailers. Same brand name, same logo, but a completely different product. They're produced in different factories with cheaper materials and lower quality standards, all under something called manufactured for discount merchandise. It's legal and it's intentional. TJ Maxx knows most shoppers will never look past the front tag. The logo does the work and the price seals the deal. But the real story is on the inside. When you flip the garment over and check the interior label, you'll often see unfamiliar tag designs, internal product codes, or references to TJX. The fabric feels thinner. The structure is weaker. The stitching is simpler. Real designer pieces are built to last. These are built to sell quickly. And here's where people get fooled. Because it's not counterfeit, shoppers assume it's the same quality they'd get at a department store. It's not. Two items can carry the exact same brand name and be made for completely different purposes. One represents the brand, the other represents inventory movement. Smart shoppers understand this. They don't shop logos, they shop construction. They check seams, feel the weight of the fabric, and judge quality before they even look at the price tag. Because once you stop assuming a name equals value, the illusion disappears. And when that illusion breaks, TJ Maxx loses one of its biggest advantages, and you stop paying premium attention to something that was never premium to begin with. One of the most powerful tricks TJ Maxx uses doesn't live on the rack, the fabric, or the brand name. It lives on a single line of text printed in smaller font, just big enough to catch your eye. Compare at $59.99. Next to it sits a much lower price, and in that instant, your brain decides the outcome for you. This isn't just a purchase, it's a win. That feeling is exactly what TJ Maxx is selling. Because in many cases, that compare at price has no connection to reality. It's not the MSRP. It's not a price the item used to sell for at a department store. Sometimes it's a number the product has never been listed at anywhere. The item didn't fall from $60 to $20. It was built, priced, and sourced to land right where it is, with a higher number placed above it to create contrast. This works because your brain doesn't evaluate value in isolation. It evaluates value in comparison. When you see two numbers far apart, you don't ask whether the lower price is fair. You focus on how much you're saving. TJ Maxx knows that once your attention shifts to the gap between prices, your judgment weakens. And here's where the illusion cracks. If you take that item and search for it online, you'll often discover the real market price is much closer to the TJ Maxx price than the tag suggests. Sometimes the item only exists in off-price stores. Sometimes similar versions sell everywhere for roughly the same amount. That massive discount quietly shrinks into a small one, or disappears completely. But by then, the emotional work has already been done. You felt like you beat the system, and people who feel victorious don't slow down. They keep shopping. This is why TJ Maxx doesn't need the compare at price to be consistent, verifiable, or even accurate. It just needs to look official. It's a psychological anchor, not a factual reference point. Once it's there, it frames every decision that follows. Smart shoppers break that frame immediately. They ignore the compare it number entirely. They don't ask, how much am I saving? They ask, is this worth the price on the tag if this were the only number I saw? If the answer is no, the deal was never real to begin with. Because the only price that matters is the one you pay. And the moment you stop letting imaginary numbers influence your decisions, TJ Maxx loses one of its most reliable ways to push you into buying something you never planned to take home. The bedding aisle at TJ Maxx is one of the most convincing setups in the entire store. Everything looks calm, coordinated, and expensive. The comforters feel plush. The pillows look like they belong in a hotel catalog. The colors are neutral, safe, and easy to imagine in your own bedroom. It feels like you've finally found the piece that will pull the whole room together. And that's where the trap snaps shut. Because the moment you think, I'll come back for the matching pieces, you've already lost. TJ Maxx almost never carries full bedding collections. What you see on the shelf is usually all that exists. No matching shams, no coordinated sheets, no backup pillowcases. That comforter you love might be the last remaining piece from a discontinued line, or a partial shipment that will never be completed. TJ Maxx doesn't buy bedding the way traditional retailers do. They buy closeouts, leftovers, one-off runs, and partial sets. The goal isn't consistency, it's movement. That means trying to build a cohesive bedroom set here usually turns into a slow, frustrating scavenger hunt that never actually finishes. This is why so many TJ Maxx bedrooms end up looking slightly off. Similar colors that don't quite match. Fabrics that clash when the light hits them. Patterns that felt fine in the store but don't work together at home. You're not bad at decorating them, you were shopping in a system that doesn't support completion. The only smart way to shop the bedding aisle is to change your expectations. If you like an item, buy it as a standalone piece and assume nothing will ever match it. Don't plan. Don't wait. Don't expect coordination later. Because later usually doesn't exist. TJ Maxx bedding isn't about creating a set. It's about impulse satisfaction. And once you understand that, you stop trying to force a finished look out of a store designed to sell fragments. By now, TJ Maxx probably feels like a psychological obstacle course. Most sections are designed to rush you, confuse you, or convince you you're saving more than you actually are. But there is one area of the store that consistently breaks that pattern, and it's the one most people don't think twice about: the pet aisle. For reasons TJ Maxx doesn't advertise and doesn't really need to, the pet section is one of the few places where the value is genuinely strong. The dog beds are often thicker, heavier, and better constructed than what you'll find at big box pet stores at the same price. The stitching holds up. The filling doesn't flatten after a month. And the materials feel closer to mid-range or premium pet products than discount junk. The same goes for toys. Many of the chew toys sold here last significantly longer than their overpriced counterparts at pet specialty stores. You're not paying extra for flashy packaging or aggressive branding. You're paying for durability. And for pet owners, durability is the only thing that actually matters. Then there are the treats. TJ Maxx frequently stocks premium or specialty pet treat brands at steep discounts. These are often the same brands you'd see at boutique pet stores, just sold for half the price. As long as you check expiration dates and ingredients, this is one of the easiest ways to save money without sacrificing quality. But the biggest advantage is something almost no other national retailer offers. You can bring your dog inside. That changes everything. Your dog can test the bed before you buy it. If they walk away, you walk away. If they immediately curl up, you know it's a winner. That alone eliminates the trial and error waste that costs pet owners hundreds of dollars over time. This aisle works because the usual TJ Maxx illusions aren't doing the heavy lifting here. There's no fake luxury, no designer status, no compare-it fantasy driving the sale. Pet products either work or they don't. Dogs don't care about branding, and TJ Maxx can't trick them into liking something uncomfortable. That's why this section consistently delivers real value. The markup is lower, the quality is higher, and the psychology matters less. Once you know that, you stop treating TJ Maxx as one big gamble and start using it selectively, and the pet aisle becomes one of the few places where shopping there actually makes sense. The clearance section at TJ Maxx always feels the same. Racks jammed together, clothes twisted inside out, sizes mixed, styles mismatched, hangers fighting for space. Red tags everywhere, and the moment you step into it, your brain switches modes. You stop browsing and start hunting. That chaos isn't a mistake. It's a strategy. TJ Maxx doesn't leave clearance disorganized because they don't have time to fix it. They leave it that way because confusion shortens decision-making. When everything feels limited, messy, and hard to sort through, shoppers move faster. You grab first and think later. The longer you stand there, the more pressure you feel to make the trip worth it. The red tags play a big role in this illusion. Most shoppers assume red means final markdown. It doesn't. Red often signals an early or mid-stage discount, and many of those items will drop again. But clearance pricing at TJ Maxx isn't standardized. The same item can be priced differently at two stores. One location might mark it down faster than another. Another might never get that markdown at all. That inconsistency keeps you guessing, and guessing keeps you buying. TJ Maxx knows that if shoppers believe this is the lowest price they'll ever see, hesitation disappears. You're no longer evaluating fit, quality, or whether you actually need the item. You're reacting to urgency. And urgency sells. What most people never realize is that the best clearance deals usually don't happen in the store. They happen online. Online clearance removes the chaos entirely. You can sort by size, filter by brand, compare prices, and actually see what's available without digging through a disaster zone. No competition, no pressure, no guessing. In-store clearance is designed to feel like a treasure hunt. It's entertainment. It keeps you engaged, emotional, and impulsive. Online clearance is surgical. It's for shoppers who want the lowest price with the least friction. That's the difference. If you're shopping for fun, the clearance racks will keep you busy. If you're shopping for value, they're a distraction. And once you understand that the mess is part of the system, you stop mistaking chaos for opportunity and start choosing when and how you want to play the game. Most people walk into TJ Maxx with the same assumption they bring into any big retail store. The price on the tag is the price, end of discussion. There's no haggling, no adjusting, no room for conversation. You either buy it or you don't. That belief feels logical, and that's exactly why TJ Maxx never bothers correcting it. Because the truth is, price flexibility exists here, just quietly, selectively, and only for shoppers who know how to recognize it. It starts with understanding how TJ Maxx views inventory. This store doesn't operate on perfection, it operates on movement. Items that are flawed, damaged, incomplete, or slightly off-spec are a problem, not an asset. That's why you'll see tags labeled irregular or as is. These labels cover everything from missing buttons and loose seams to chipped corners, scratched surfaces, dented packaging, or cosmetic defects that most people wouldn't even notice unless they were looking closely. Those tags are your signal that the item already has an issue TJ Maxx wants resolved. And while the item is discounted, that price isn't always the final word. When you bring it to the register, you're allowed to point out the flaw and ask a simple, respectful question. Is it possible to get an additional discount because of this defect? You're not challenging the store, you're giving them an easy way to close the sale. In many locations, cashiers are empowered to take another 10 to 20% off without calling a manager. That authority exists because TJ Maxx would rather sell imperfect merchandise cheaply than deal with the costs of storing it, shipping it back, or writing it off entirely. From their perspective, an extra markdown is often the most efficient outcome. Your leverage increases even more when the item is the last one available. TJ Maxx hates single imperfect items lingering on the floor. They disrupt the flow of inventory and take up space that could be used for something new. When you're holding the last flawed item, you're not negotiating, you're solving a problem for them. But how you approach this matters more than the words you use. This isn't a confrontation, you don't complain. You don't dramatize the defect. You don't act entitled. You stay calm, polite, and observant. You're simply acknowledging a flaw and asking if the price can reflect it. Most of the time, the answer comes quickly and quietly. The reason this strategy works so well is because almost no one uses it. Most shoppers either ignore minor defects and overpay, or they walk away entirely. Very few realize that the system allows for a middle ground. Once you understand this, price tags at TJ Maxx stop feeling fixed and start feeling flexible. You begin to see opportunities where others see limitations. And in a store designed to reward speed and impulse, knowing when and how to slow down and ask a single question can save you more money than any clearance sticker ever will. Most people treat TJ Maxx like a weekend activity. Saturday afternoon, Sunday evening, maybe a quick stop after brunch. It feels convenient, productive, and harmless. The store is busy, the carts are full, and everyone assumes they're all hunting the same deals at the same time. That assumption is exactly what puts you at a disadvantage. By the time the weekend rolls around, the best items in TJ Maxx are usually gone. Not hidden, not waiting in the back. Gone. The reason is simple. TJ Maxx doesn't restock like a traditional retailer. Inventory moves in waves, and those waves hit during the week, not on Saturday. Most stores receive new shipments early in the week, often on Monday or Wednesday. Those items start hitting the floor shortly after. Then, midweek, markdowns are applied. Employees have time to tag items, organize sections, and reset displays. By the time Tuesday morning arrives, the store is at one of its strongest points. Fresh inventory, fresh discounts, and minimal crowd pressure. That window doesn't last long. By Friday, shelves stabilize. By Saturday and Sunday, shoppers pick through what's left. You're not competing with the system anymore. You're competing with everyone who already beat you there. That's why weekend shopping feels chaotic and disappointing at the same time. The store is full, but the selection feels thin. Weekend TJ Maxx is designed to feel exciting. Crowds create urgency. Busy aisles create the illusion that deals are flying off the racks. But in reality, most of the premium items were claimed days earlier by shoppers who understand the timing. The people who consistently find high-quality pieces at TJ Maxx aren't luckier. They're earlier. They shop when the store quietly resets, not when it turns into an event. Once you understand this rhythm, weekend shopping stops feeling productive. You realize it's entertainment, not strategy. And if you want real value, you stop showing up when everyone else does and start shopping when the store is actually stacked in your favor. Most shoppers glance at the price and move on, but at TJ Maxx, the color of the tag matters just as much as the number. The colors aren't decoration, they're signals. White tags mean regular price. No markdown, no urgency. Red tags mean clearance, but not final. Many red tag items will drop again, so the pressure to buy immediately is often artificial. Yellow tags are different. Yellow means final markdown. This is the lowest price, and if you walk away, it likely won't be there later. Blue tags usually mark items that are part of a set. Matching pieces are often nearby, just not always obvious. Purple tags are labeled runway. In true runway stores, they can mean real designer items, but in regular locations, they often just signal higher pricing, not higher quality. Once you understand this, you stop reacting emotionally and start shopping with intention. And that's the real point of everything in this video. TJ Maxx is built to trigger impulse, not savings. But when you understand the system, you stop chasing every deal and start deciding what's actually worth your money.